Hello and welcome to another video. This one's a bit different for me. I thought I would do some stash chats with you all, and what better place to start than with my gorgeous Liberty fabric. Okay, so if you've been here for a little while, you will know that I do love a Liberty fabric. But before I get on to talking about my Liberty fabrics, I thought I would share what I'm wearing today. This is one of my favourite blouse patterns actually. It's the Vetiver blouse by French Navy Patterns. This one is the extension of the original top. The original blouse was just a short sleeved blouse without the collar. I really love it. It's got beautiful princess seams, and the version I make is the cropped version with the little ruffle around the hem, and I just pair it with a pair of jeans. Then they came out with an expansion pack which includes this Peter Pan collar and a long sleeve edition, and they are cuffed sleeves with a button and the placket here. French Navy makes such beautiful patterns. They're always finished beautifully. The instructions for this one include French seams to make sure that the inside is as beautiful as the outside. I love the way it came together. The princess seams fit together beautifully, and I just love the finished result. There is another version which has a longer hem if you don't prefer cropped. I prefer a cropped version. It just sits at the top of my jeans, which is perfect for me. But if you don't prefer a cropped version, there is a slightly longer version of this blouse which comes as part of the pattern pack. So I'll share the information about that below, and I made mine in a beautiful linen from Merchant & Mills. I fell in love with this linen such a long time ago, and then when the opportunity to test this pattern for French Navy came up, I knew exactly which fabric I wanted to use for the test, and I did go and buy enough to make this blouse. So this is a Merchant & Mills linen. Like I said, I think it's called their Winter Berry or something like that. I'll pop a link again to this fabric in the description below because I think it is one of the ones that they regularly keep in stock. So I really like linen in the winter. I find it's really breathable. If I'm inside and the heating's on, I'm getting a bit overheated. And then if I'm going out, I just pop on a jumper and a coat and scarf and it's perfect. So I do love this blouse. I do wear it a lot, probably more coming out of the winter into the spring, and coming out of the autumn and into the winter. That's kind of when I wear this the most. So enough about that. I will get started with my Liberty fabrics. Now I do love using Liberty. So I started off by making things for my daughter. I made quite a few smocked dresses. I do love these smock dresses. I love Liberty for smocking on because it is so lightweight and the colours are just beautiful for a little girl's dress. Then I made this one. This is not a smocked dress, but it is made in a beautiful blue Liberty lawn. I made a video about the making process of this one actually. I used a ready-to-wear dress as the inspiration behind this make, and I'll share the video link above here. So I do use Liberty fabric a lot for my daughter's sort of special dresses. And then I have been using it a little bit for myself as well. This is a dress I made. It's actually a Liberty dead stock that I bought from Fabrics Galore, and I colour blocked 2 different colourways of the same print to make this dress, and I have got a video about that as well, so I'll link it up here and in the description box below. I also love using Liberty fabric for skirts and tops. I made my mother a set from a beautiful Liberty fabric, I think it's called the Silk Road, and I made her a circle skirt and a top. I think it's the Nautilus top by Marilla Walker, and she loves wearing that set, which is so lovely. She wears it either as a set or she wears the skirt on its own with a different top, so that's lovely to see that she loves wearing that. I loved making it. A circle skirt in a Liberty fabric works so well. The other skirt pattern that I found that works really well in a Liberty lawn is the By Hand London Jessica skirt. This is one I made in this rainbow Liberty House print. I absolutely love this one. And the Jessica skirt works really nicely because it has got this curved waistband that's put together in 6 pieces. And then I use all of the rest of the length of the Liberty that I've got to just gather into that waistband. So it means that it's a very low waist project, which when you're dealing with Liberty is always a good thing to have as little waist left over as possible. Now the only thing I'd say about the By Hand London Jessica skirt is I've struggled a little bit with fitting it. I actually went down a size when I made this version. I have made a version previously which is now too big, but even this one is a slightly on the big side, so I think if I made it again I would need to do a little bit of fitting, but I do love this one. It looks so beautiful on, and I love that curved waistband, although I do need to work on the fit. So the other thing I like doing with my Liberty fabrics is using every last scrap that I can. I had some of this fabric left over from making this dress for my daughter, and I didn't want to get rid of it or have it just languish in my fabric stash, so I made some bias binding from it. And when I made this Hevea coat, I used the binding on the end of the sleeves. I used it to go all the way around the coat and the pockets, and also to make the little tie at the front and the tie to hang it up with as well. So I love the fact that that adds just a lovely little pop of colour, and it means that all of that beautiful fabric gets used up one way or another. I have also used the bias binding in the past to finish the bottom of circle skirts, particularly when I make that by hand London Jessica skirt. Sometimes I'll use the Liberty fabric to line it or to finish off the hem of the skirt. Just adds a nice touch, and like I say, uses up all those beautiful scraps. So enough talk about what I have made. Now what is in my stash? So the Liberty fabric that's actually been in my stash the longest is this pink fabric, and I bought this one from the fabric store when I was there on one of my trips to New Zealand. It's a beautiful pink colour, and it's got a slightly deeper sort of almost burgundy shade running through it with these rather larger scale flowers on it. I think it's such a beautiful print, but I just haven't made anything with it yet. I think I had a plan and then I wasn't sure about it, so then it's just sort of sat there and not got used. I don't think it's right for my daughter because of the larger scale florals, and I'd really like to make something for myself. I did wonder about the Gracie Steel Flirt skirt. That is such a cute skirt. I love the shape of the waistband on that one. I'm really keen to give it a try, especially because, a bit like the by hand London Jessica skirt, I think it would make really good use of all of this fabric. So that's a thought for this one. Or I could just make it into a very simple circle skirt, and I think I would get lots of wear out of that with a little white top or a little white blouse in the summer. Now, like I said, I don't keep a lot of Liberty in my stash because I do like, if it comes in, just get it sewn up with straight away, because it's just too beautiful to sit and languish on a fabric shelf. But these two cuts of fabric are ones that I purchased recently on a trip to Shellcat Fabrics in London with the lovely Catherine, who is Soverton Makery here on YouTube and Instagram, so do go give her a follow and see what she's going to make with her Liberty purchases. But for now, here are the fabrics that I purchased at Shellcat recently. The first one is this stunning print. I absolutely love all of the colours of this one. I think it's just glorious. So bright and so happy. I think this is just sunshine in a piece of fabric. It has got a navy base rather than black, which I really like. And again, I think I just bought this one as a remnant piece. I think it's about 2 meters, just under 2 meters. What I'd like to make with this one is a skirt. You'll see a theme here. I think sometimes this Liberty fabric feels a little bit busy so close to the face, unless it's like this one where you can sort of see a more solid colour. So I think I prefer it in a skirt where I can just layer up something different on the top, and then that is not quite so close to my face. I don't know. The other thing I wondered about was sort of a more strappy dress with this one, so that the fabric sits a bit lower down, but I still get to make the most of that fabric. I haven't quite decided, which is unusual for me. I usually know exactly what I want to make with a Liberty fabric, but this one was just too beautiful to leave in the shop, so I did have to bring it home with me. Now this next fabric, again, I just, as soon as I saw it, I knew I had to bring it home, and it is this stunning floral print. Again, it's on a navy background. Again, I love these bright pops of colour. They're in my palette with these sort of cornflower blues and sort of more magenta-y pinks, and I just think that is stunning. Now I think this one would be okay as a dress actually, because you can really see the navy in the background, so I think this one would work really well as a dress. And the pattern that I want to use for this one is the Nomi 2016. I'm sure you will have seen this pattern all over YouTube and Instagram. It's been very, very popular, and with good reason. I actually made it recently from a black cotton sateen. I absolutely love this dress, and I would like to make it again. Now the black cotton sateen, I made that because I quite often sing in a choir and I do a few concerts here and there, and I needed a black concert dress, so that one gets worn for concerts, but I would like to make one that I can wear sort of in a more everyday way. So that's why I wanted to buy this fabric, and as soon as I can, I would love to get that one made up into the ME 2016. I think that would be beautiful in cotton lawn. It does have these beautiful big sleeves, and the skirt has this lovely sort of wavy line through it. So I think the cotton lawn would work really well. It'd be nice and cool to wear as the bodice, but it will also have enough shape to really hold those sleeves and to give you that line across the skirt that is a feature of this pattern. So the next piece we saw at Shellcat Fabrics made up into a beautiful dress, but they actually didn't have any left in the shop. So once I got home, I got hunting, and I found this one at Sew Me Sunshine. And now it is a print with flowers and pomegranates. Now for some reason I love pomegranates, my mother does too, and it's something that if we see in a fabric we often purchase it. I saw this one, I love the print anyway, I love the colours, and I couldn't resist it because it has these tiny teeny pomegranates on it, which I just thought was so cute. Again, not sure what I'm going to make with this one. It could be a dress for my daughter, but to be honest she's got a few at the moment that she is wearing and she doesn't really need another one, so I'll either pop this into my stash to make a dress for her next summer, or I did wonder about making it into a blouse. The other blouse I love, and I've mentioned already, is the Marilla Walker Nautilus blouse. I wore that a lot last summer and I think I would wear it a lot in a Liberty print. The other blouse I really like the look of is one that Catherine again made recently. It has a beautiful V-neck and it has ruffles and these beautiful button loops, and I think that looked absolutely stunning in a cotton lawn, and I'd love to make that one as well. I will pop the name of that pattern in the box below because I cannot remember the name of it. I just remember seeing it when Catherine was wearing it and thinking that's a beautiful blouse. If you've got any suggestions, do let me know in the description box below. What do you sew with your Liberty fabrics? So another fabric that has arrived very recently, today in fact, is a gorgeous Ripstop Liberty fabric. That's a mouthful, from New Craft House. And it is this one here. Oh, I love it. Now I did see this when New Craft House released their Liberty Ripstop fabrics. It's a dead stock one, but I just wasn't 100% sure about it, and it is on the pricey side. But when I saw the lovely Amelia Allen Sews making up the same fabric into a waterproof, I thought, I really can't resist. So I did go and buy it because what I struggle with is in the summer months when I'm riding on the bike to collect the children or dropping them off, and it's raining but it's not cold, and I don't really have a waterproof that isn't lined or too warm. I find when I wear my current waterproof coat in the summer, I get so hot by the time I've got to the children's school. So I thought actually a Liberty waterproof, I mean how perfect. So I would really like your recommendations for any waterproof coats that you've got. It's quite a thin fabric and I don't really want to line it or it defeats the object of having a light waterproof layer. I have seen quite a few gorgeous waterproof ponchos that I love the look of with a hood, which obviously I would line. So if you've got any patterns that you would recommend for sort of a light waterproof jacket or poncho, then do leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, I'm thinking about perhaps hacking the pogo nip, adding a hood to that and then lengthening the pogo nip so that it turns into sort of a waterproof poncho type thing. But again, I haven't finalised my thoughts on that one, so if you do have ideas, pop them in the comments box below, but that is just the most beautiful waterproof fabric, and I think it will make a very glamorous raincoat for cycling around London. Now lastly, in terms of my cuts of fabric, I have this, I think it's a cotton twill or a brushed cotton twill. It's a really interesting fabric base that I've not seen before from Liberty, and this was a dead stock fabric from New Craft House that I saw and could not resist. It has got these London landmarks on it, it's got the Tower of London, it's got the London Eye, it's got taxis, but it also has these lovely wee florals on it, and I just thought that would be a beautiful, either a nightie for my daughter or a little pair of pyjamas, or I could even make it into a little long-sleeved winter dress for her. That will probably be next winter now. I just purchased that recently and I could not leave it behind because it's just a lovely wee print, and I think it would look really cute as a little girl's dress for winter or a pair of snuggly pyjamas. Now lastly, this year I did sign up to the Alice Caroline Block of the Month Quilt Club. Now for this you get this little box that arrives in the mail once a month, and in it are beautiful Liberty fabrics and instructions on how to make various blocks that you then put together at the end of the year into a quilt. Now I've made the first 4 blocks. I'll pop in some pictures of them because they're a bit tricky to hold up all at the same time, and I loved this process. I think it's been such a busy January and there's been so much going on that quilting actually has been such a gift. I have really enjoyed coming up here and just being really methodical and slow in terms of measuring and cutting and pinning and sewing, and I found that sort of repetitive process really meditative, and I've loved it in terms of just that little bit of mental health me time. Now I love putting those together so much, but again I didn't love the fact that I had some scraps left over and they were too small to do much with in terms of garment making, but I didn't want to get rid of them. So what I did was made some mini quilt squares. So here are just a few of them. I made a couple of these little square ones. I don't know what these things are called because I'm new to quilting. I just put some half square triangles together and just put them together in however it pleased me to do so. There's another little one there, and then I just put some sort of 9 patches together as well from some of those little squares that I cut out. Teeny tiny, and what I thought I might do is at the end of the year, when I've made up a few more of these from the scraps each month, I can perhaps put them together to make a quilted waistcoat from all of the scraps of my quilt. So we'll see if that plan eventuates, but again, I could not see those Liberty scraps go to waste, so I'm glad to have made them into something that's little and sweet. We'll just see if it does make its way into a garment at some point. In terms of the rest of my stash, I do have some of this fabric left over. I think when I originally bought this fabric, I wanted to make a dress from it, so I got enough, I think 2.5 meters to make a whole dress, but because I ended up color blocking this one into it, I only needed enough to make the skirt and the sleeve, so I do have about a meter, perhaps a bit over a meter left. So again, I might use this one in the summer to make myself a little blouse, or the Marilla Walker Nautilus top again is a great one because it doesn't use too much fabric. I can definitely get that out from a meter or less than a meter, because again, I don't want that just sitting in my stash. It's too much to turn into bias binding or scrappy quilts. There is a good amount of that left, so I need to think about what I might use that for, because I don't want it to just stay in my stash. Then the last piece of fabric I have got is this one here, and this is also from Sew Me Sunshine. Now this is not a Liberty fabric as such, it is a cotton poplin, but it is in this Wilshire Berries print, which is a Liberty print originally. I'm not sure exactly the provenance of this fabric. I bought it in a couple of colourways, and I used the blue colourway to make my daughter this beautiful dress here. It's a little summer frock. I'll put the details of that in the description box below. It's by Flora Handmade. Can't remember the name of the pattern off the top of my head, but it's a little summer sun frock, and I make this one quite often because it's such an easy breezy one to wear, and it's lovely in the cotton poplin. But this one I have not used yet, so this might be one that I again use for a blouse because it's quite a light cotton poplin, or I could use it again for another little dress for my daughter if she needs another one next summer. That's been sitting in my stash probably for about a year as well. I bought a couple of colourways of that because I couldn't believe the price, and I do love the Wilshire Berries print. So that one is sitting in my stash, but it wasn't a Liberty print, and it certainly wasn't Liberty prices, so I'm okay if that sits in my stash for a little while I make some decisions about what to make with that one. So that's it! Those are the Liberty fabrics I currently have in my stash. Those are the Liberty garments that I've made from what's been in my stash previously. Hope you enjoyed seeing those. Let me know below which was your favourite Liberty print that I shared today, and what have you made with your lovely Liberty fabrics. I would love to know in the comments below. So thank you for watching. I hope you have a lovely week ahead sewing up lots of your beautiful fabric, and I will catch up with you in the next video. Goodbye!